Being out of shape sucks. Every time you walk by a mirror or step on the scale or try out some new clothes, or if you want to take off your shirt at the beach, you get reminded that you're not taking care of yourself. And it's that feeling of knowing that you need to do better. But if it was easy, we'd be seeing many more people walking around with a fit and lean physique. And the reality is, it's the exact opposite. There are more out of shape people at a high body fat percentage now than ever before. And it's not a lack of information. If anything, we have too much information. So the big question is, how do you get yourself to do what you know you need to do? Lift weights 3 to 4 times per week, eat real food, stay on top of your calories and macros, walk more and get at least 7 hours of sleep a night, and most importantly, how do you do all that consistently without dropping off in 5 to 6 weeks and reverting back to your quote-unquote old self? Let's talk about it. So the first reason I see so many people struggle with getting lean is because they're not willing to accept the trade-offs. You want to be lean? You want to walk around 10 to 15% body fat? There's a trade-off. You need to invest a significant amount of time, effort, and energy in learning how to eat properly, lift consistently, build new habits, and change your lifestyle. There's no way around that. As one of my favorite sayings goes, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. And in this case, the trade-offs include eliminating junk food, minimizing alcohol, tracking your calories, when everybody around you is snacking, you're fasting, you're making sure you're planning your meals, you're going to the gym, you're taking a moment to hit the like button in my videos, you're doing your steps, you're skipping that hour of late night mindless browsing of the internet so you can wake up an hour earlier and get your workout done. You have to make trade-offs, and that's the long-term reality that most people aren't willing to accept. We all have a limited amount of time and energy. There are only 168 hours in a week. And when push comes to shove, most people simply don't follow through. They start with good intentions, but because they're not willing to give up parts of their old lifestyle, fitness never becomes a habit. It never becomes a new normal. So they keep losing and regaining the same body fat, unable to break out of that cycle. And I remember when I first started in fitness, untrained and 40 pounds overweight, I also wanted a program that didn't require me to make any sacrifices. And now, 14 years later, I can safely say that such program doesn't exist. So if you're looking for one, you won't find it. Now, the second problem that I see holds so many people back from losing body fat is incorrect pacing. And we see this at the start of every new year. People who gain 30 pounds over 4 or 5 years now want to lose all 30 in the next 2 months. It's like a pilot trying to take off in an airplane by going straight up, trying to get out there as fast as possible. If you do that, you don't get to your destination any faster. You'll just crash the plane instead. But if you gradually build up speed and you go at a slight incline, you give it some time, eventually you're going to reach cruising altitude and then you're going to be good. Most people don't have a problem with pushing through sometimes and doing what needs to be done. But most people are also really impatient. And that lack of patience is why they keep failing. I see guys who are struggling with sticking to 2,100 calories per day. They keep having slip-ups and the scale barely moves. And then that same guy cuts his calories down to 1,800 per day because he's not going to get to his goal on time. How does that make any sense? If you can't stick to 2,100 per day, how are you going to do 1,800, which is a lot harder? It's like failing a 300-pound bench in the gym and then going up to 400 pounds. It makes no sense. What most people think is a faster way of doing things in reality ends up being slower than if they just did it properly. You need to find your own ideal pace, one that you can sustain. My recommendation is to first dial in your habits and your calories where you're able to lose a pound or half a kilo per week on average for at least 6 to 7 weeks, where you have your protein and fiber consistently done, where you create a few meals that you enjoy, and now you settle into that routine. And then from that baseline level of consistency, if you want to cut calories and lose body fat a bit faster, go for it. Try it out. It's the same in the gym. You first start with a weight that you can handle and do with good form, and then you progressively overload from there. Now, the third thing most people don't realize is that getting lean, when done right, is quite boring. I know the journey starts off as new and interesting, lots of things to try out, weight is moving down faster, gym progress is quicker due to those newbie gains, but that initial excitement isn't how the journey actually looks like over the long term. And that honeymoon phase will typically last for a few months, and that's when most people will drop off. And the ones who remain consistent after that phase are the ones who were able to accept the mundane reality of getting results. It's that process of waking up in the morning and weighing yourself at the same time, logging it, tracking your food intake, controlling calories and macros, eating similar meals, hitting the gym usually on the same days or on similar times with a similar routine, trying to get a little bit stronger. There's nothing flashy going on. It's not some kind of 72-hour fasting cleanse where you drop 6 pounds the next day, then you do a cold plunge, then an infrared sauna, then you take 30 different supplements. There's all these people cheering you on all the time. That's not how it looks like. The fundamental habits for losing body fat are simple. You eat fewer calories than your body burns, then you maintain that calorie deficit over time. You lift weights to keep your current muscle mass and ideally gain a little bit more. You walk more and stay active outside of the gym for cardiovascular health and to help you with that calorie deficit. You take care of your sleep, stress, and recovery as a part of a new healthy lifestyle. It's routine and consistency. There's nothing glamorous about any one of these habits, but when they're done all together and when they're done consistently over a long period of time is when they deliver amazing results. And just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy to do. The ability to stay consistent with this set of habits day in, day out, regardless of how you feel, is what separates the small minority of those who are successful versus the vast majority of people who fail. Motivation comes and goes. Your success shouldn't depend on it. Mastering the fundamentals and learning to enjoy the process is how you turn this into a healthy lifestyle long term. And at that point, you won't be able to even imagine yourself being out of shape. And that's when you know you nailed it. And if you're looking for help, guidance, and accountability on your journey, you want to work with me as your coach, details for coaching are in the description below. So check those out, and I'm going to see you in my next video.